Hi, I'm Stephen Orvis, and this is about takeaways that I had in from the Main Street over Wall Street 2024 conference, specifically about finding deals and the talk that Clint Fleer did on that. Uh, One memory aid that he mentioned was that search is a three-legged stool, so he mentioned on-market, off-market, and referrals. The on market is obviously like the business brokers, all the websites that are out there on the internet. Off market could be just like cold calls or maybe just talking to a business owner. And then the referrals is where you ideally are getting someone that that person trusts to then tell that person or tell you that, hey, there's a match here that you might want to buy, might want to sell. So that's going to be a very ideal is getting the referrals. I thought his section on getting through the gatekeepers was good. I wrote them down here the best I could as I was taking notes. And this would be for if you're doing a cold call in. So it's like one is like, hey, I'm trying to reach Joe. Is he in today? And so then that's going to let you seem like you know the owner. So it's like if you kind of know the owner's name is such and then know when an employee picks up the phone and they normally are going to block if you ask, hey, can I talk to the owner? They're like, well, why? Instead, it's like, oh, okay, and it sounds like he knows this guy. And Clinton said this actually works half the time, which I thought was interesting. It was a good little tip there. Another one was just I'm buying a business in the space, and a quick question I want to ask the owner. So now you're like, it's not like I'm buy your business. It's more off trying to be a little more quiet about it. And that's also good too, is the owner may not want employees to know that he's intending to sell a business, he or she, and so that's a good way to kind of keep that under wraps too for the owner. And then next one here, he mentioned that when you're talking to the seller, I kind of open with seller name. You don't know me. My name is such and such. And I'm trying to buy uh, in the space, and then kind of that you're well connected and he has money, and he's like, do you know anyone who wants to sell in this space? And uh, his point there was if they don't want to sell, they're not going to volunteer that they want to sell. But if they want to sell, they're like, hey, actually, I do want to sell. And so that's a good way to ask without asking, and then also to at the same time, they might know someone legitly and uh, pass you on to them. So it's kind of a double win there. It opens up the possibilities. So those are some good ways to get past the gatekeeper and then what to do once you get there. I thought that was useful information from him. All right. When he spoke about referrals, he mentioned some of the common ones like the CPA, attorneys. Those are ones I'm used to seeing. The bankers make a lot of sense. Uh, he pointed out, though, with a lot of these professionals, like the CPA, if you already have a CPA, when you uh, buy the business, then some of the CPA loses their customer or the banker or attorney or whatnot. So there's that concern there that they don't always necessarily want their customer selling their business if it's going to mean they're not going to have business. But he pointed out the wealth manager is one person that actually does want the business to get sold because if you have $200,000, for example, in their account, the seller does, and then they sell their business for $1 million, they're going to put a whole lot more under wealth management. So this is a great thing for that person if their customer sells their business, now they have a whole lot more money under their management. So that is one person that would be excited for you to buy their customer's business. And the other one he mentioned that's not utilized much is the insurance agent, and that agent knows a lot about you. As he pointed out, he probably knows more than you know about you. But that agent knows, how many cars you have and boats and about your house, and probably has a pretty good idea of what's going on. Also knows about your business if he's insuring your business. And so he said this one isn't utilized very often, and so that can be another one. So I thought those were the two big ones there that I just hadn't really heard about before, and I thought was interesting to be able to utilize those contacts. And then he had some good tips on how to work with the referrals when you're trying to get them because you want to build these people's trust and get them to uh, tell the business owner that, hey, I think this guy might be a good fit for you and to buy the business. So one of the points he made about the CPA was uh, it's if you're looking for a CPA business and interviewing for it, then that can be something you can be mentioning there. That way, the CPA doesn't have to feel like, oh, my business is going away. They can be more like, well, I'm trying to do you something good, and then hopefully maybe you use me as your CPA to continue onwards, which could make a lot of sense in some cases if they already have the business and they're doing a great job. Maybe that could make sense. And then he mentioned that once someone gave him a $100 coffee shop gift card, and he's like, it felt like I had a golden ticket for coffee because it just lasted forever. Because coffee only costs a few dollars, and so you can quickly rack up quite a number of coffees on a $100 gift card. So not necessarily something you use on everyone, but if you have that certain person that you want to be top of mind, that might be a way to help you be on that person's mind. And then he also mentioned that sporting events, or if you have an extra ticket or something, just inviting them for spending time when you're not just hounding them about, hey, do you know anyone that has a business to sell? That's instead a way to show that you care about them as a person, and then will help them have feelings of reciprocity too, as well. So those are the three main sources of deals that Clint mentioned, and that is overall the broad categories of what is out there. Uh, and I thought I covered most of it. I think the only other area that was mentioned at the conference was under social marketing, some talk about that and how to utilize things like Facebook ads. And so I thought that was an interesting takeaway as well. Uh, but getting into the referrals is an area that seems promising, especially since the market lately has become more saturated with deals, and oftentimes if it's a good deal, it goes fast, and so those are a lot tougher to find a good deal. It just takes a lot of searching and a lot of time, but all of it does. It takes a lot of work. So those are the three ways: on market, off market, and referrals.